Welcome to week 56, resurrecting into the higher self. So today, the vision that I saw were big godlike beings in the heavens, in the clouds, whatever. I watched them for a while, not really sure what they were trying to tell me. And then I saw the buzzard. Well, I thought it was an eagle, and it seemed to morph into a bald head and more of the vulture. And it had in its talons a big, beautiful, pure white ball of light. And so I reckon, and then I start to get the understanding that this is the higher self. We've been moving through into the changes, and this full moon that we have just been through was the second moon in Libra. Last month was the moon in Libra, and this month, and it was a window of being able of completion, of completing unhealthy situations of relationships with anything, and being able to let that go and merge into the new stage, new cycle, completely new. So this made sense that, of course, we should be merging with our higher selves and these godlike beings, our higher selves. And one was, it's hard to describe, I see the visions, but to put it into words, it's really difficult. But it felt, so I go with feelings and seeing, and it felt like they were looking down, but trying to reach in, trying to merge. There was another one laying down. It's really interesting, but merge was the energy that I got from the visions today. And interestingly, that this is week 56, and I mentioned last week when we did week 55, being the Master 55, and that this week would also be a special week because 56 becomes 11, so we can see that we are looking at two sides of ourselves. The higher side and the lower side, and or the mirror, if you like. And also the 56 is a very high vibration, very finely attuned energies, very much to do with communication and visions. And it is also the sacred numerological equation of the name Ametron Truth, and also of LUXOR Light. And that's a long story. It was not chosen that way. It just happens to be. They are twin energies. Anyway, I have done the cards, and the first card that came out today was the Six of Pentacles. So this is an energy of love, that is coming through, that we must share, like be balanced in ourselves and share that new energy that is coming through. And which is very much about what the Vulture is saying, to share, or to bring through the gifts that are yours and for humanity. So to do that, so this is almost like this dude here. He's merged with his higher self. He has his gifts of whatever he has, and he is sharing it with others. So that's more or less what that card is telling us today. It's an energy of love because it is a 6 energy. And the next 6 number, and the next card is number 58, which is about transformation, and also connects very much with the Libra moon, because Libra is all or nothing, and so is the number 13, is all or nothing. So this is number 58, which is also very high vibration, communication, unconditional love, peace, and forgiveness, and change. Definitely there's change coming there. Trust the divine plan. So being in alignment, that lower part of ourself, that in alignment with the higher part of ourselves, trust in the divine plan and bring it together, coming in together. And interestingly, it's the shape of an Easter egg. It happens to be Easter Sunday. So very good there. The egg, the symbolism of resurrection. And the next card, the third card, which is to do with the purpose, the missions, solar plexus is when we heal at the level of the solar plexus and open it into its purity, we awaken to our missions. And this is the ace of fire. So the ace is to do with new beginnings, and it's also an energy move fast forward. And it says an exciting new opportunity, career advancement, or change your life now. So basically it is saying there is new beginnings happening now with these new energies. Now is the time to really step forward and use that fire energy to get things moving. And the card of the heart today is the Sphinx. So the Sphinx is the divine messenger, earth altar, and cosmic library. So listen to the wisdom of the heart and allow that to help you tap into your higher self. So this is the merging of the heart and the higher self, being totally in alignment. And earlier this morning, I was really not feeling, I'm leaving Egypt tomorrow. So I was feeling really quite emotional. Emotional because I don't know, I know I'm stepping into a new phase. So very emotional at letting this go. And it's the first time I have ever, in 13 years, ever felt emotional about leaving Egypt. First time ever. I'm just not really that sort of person. I usually take everything as it comes and goes when I especially when I travel. But this time today, I was really, this morning and last night, quite emotional. I am leaving my cat, but it's not about my cat. I am leaving my home. It's not about my home. Well, maybe it is about my home. It's about the home within my heart. I'm leaving my twin flame, and that is what is really playing big on me. We are not merged. We are not in union. We are merged on the spiritual level, but not in the physical. Not in the physical. So I was feeling quite separate and feeling emotional. I haven't got the right words because it's not a when I connect with the soul, I cry. When I connect with the higher self, I am just at one, at peace and total embrace of the all that is. But anytime I connect with the soul, I tend to cry. It's if I connect with the soul of other energies, I will cry. So when I'm connecting with somebody's soul through a healing session, often I will cry. If it is at the level of the soul that there is something happening in the soul, I will cry. If I connect with ascended masters and I connect on the energy of the souls, I tend to cry. But at the level of the higher self, it's different. It's completely different for me. There is no crying. There's no need to cry at the level of the higher self. There's a different energy between soul and higher self. So I was connecting I was emotional at the level of the soul. And then I went into meditation after I had received the message. Well, while I was receiving the messages for today, I'd gone into meditation, balanced myself out, and then I felt the merge of my higher self. And everything changed. The whole energy of the room changed. The energy around myself changed. I felt an immense comfort and stillness. Difficult to explain the feeling. Different to when I feel blankets of energy, but just this absolute stillness of it just is as it is. So the full and completeness, the awareness of situations, the awareness of everything, but the completeness of being totally merged at the level of the higher self and moved out of separateness. Because separateness, we feel sad, we feel lonely, we feel whatever. All of those parts, all of those aspects of ourselves are not aspects of not the higher self. They are aspects of separateness when we are not completely at one. So So the Sphinx is the heart card, saying align your heart and soul with your higher self. Higher self and soul are different, by the way. The higher self steps down to the soul steps down to us here. So keeping it all in alignment all the way through to oneness. And the fifth card, the card that takes us through the change, takes us through coming into a space of peace, takes us into being able to communicate at the higher level, is the card persistence. So persist. Now, keep persisting, because we have purposes and we have missions. We have two different missions. We have our own personal mission that we must bring through. We must bring that part of ourselves through, which is what the vision was today, to moving into that. And then if you meet and merge with your twin flame, twin soul, whether it be at the level of the soul or whether it be in physical, if it is to be a physical mission, then it must happen at this level. Then there is something else, because it's a different energy. So we each have our own energies, okay? We have a specific energy, a specific frequency that is aligned with our soul and our higher self for a specific purpose. But then when it comes in another soul and you merge with that soul, there are two frequencies, two separate frequencies that merge that make a third frequency, and there is a completely different mission connected with that. So we must persist at whatever level we are at. This is the Vulture brought in the new energy. He's bringing in the new energy and telling you that you are about to bring through a new energy, but you must be merged with your higher self to be able to do it. You cannot do it if you have any fear and sadness and anger and fear, anything. It's all fear. It's all fear. We cannot do it if we have any fear. So we must persist until we are completely clear and completely aligned. It is your destiny. This is your destiny. So we are at a pinnacle, very powerful point that our destiny is about to show us the next leg of our journey. So there will be, phases of grief and sadness and so on. And with my clients, I have been hearing things from different people over the recent, especially the last week and the last few days or something, that things that are happening with people that are showing that things are changing and that part of their lives is being removed. Remember that the full moon was asking us to let go and let God, let go of what no longer serves us, because we're moving into something new. And this is something new, is this new energy. So we can't take the old with us. We have to move into the new. It doesn't mean that we completely remove everything from our lives, but we must transform it. That comes in with this one. We must transform it. It's the 58 energy. The 13 energy, which is about transformation, which is also connected with the Libra energy there, and also you can see this is a bit of Libra. So I think we are still in the window of the full moon, and this card here is about your destiny, and it also says that your destiny is in the hands of the gods. It's being looked after in the hands of the gods, which is really interesting because that's what I saw. So the gods are your God self. We're seeing the God selves, the higher self. So your destiny is in the hands of your higher self. So give it to me, higher self. But you can't have it unless you are fully aligned with your higher self and merged with your higher self. So you must be at one with the higher self so you can have it. So these other parts of ourselves that are grieving, sad and fearful and whatever of the unknown. Again, 13 energy is the unknown energy. we tend to fear the unknown, what is coming. So we have to let go of all of that and fully merge with the higher self, so that we're in that place of stillness, a place of oneness, where there is no past and there is no future. There is only the now, which brings me to the 13th dimension. That's exactly what the 13th dimension is. 13th dimension is there is the God source, and there is nothingness. It is no past, no future, just now. The most powerful place there is, because all of the magic happens in the now. So if we are grieving the past, if we are feeling the loss, if we are feeling abandoned, separated, missing out, so on and so forth, all of those things belong to the ego, and they must go. And we must fully realign with the self. So meditation, meditation, meditation. Your destiny is about to show itself to you. Okay, you've had your destiny before. You've got a new one, a new destiny, and it's coming in now. So be completely in alignment with your higher self, and your arms are like, yay! New phase. New phase coming through. Welcome to your destiny. So it's all really very exciting. So I'm excited to see what the codes are going to show us today. And just a little bit of what do you call it? Little stuff. Whatever that word is. Tomorrow I fly out, and it's the 22nd. And the 22nd is the sacred mathematics of the LUXOR Light symbol. There's also 22 initiations in the LUXOR Light Ascension program. There is 22 steps to the God Force. There are 22 initiations in the Brotherhood of Asania, the Essenes. And all of this there is so much in regards to the 22. And 22 is my life lesson. And 22 is also the, yes, I mentioned the sacred mathematics of the LUXOR Light symbol. And so I tried to leave on the 24th, but I was pushed back to the 22nd because there were no flights. And when I worked out my numerology just this morning for tomorrow, I better just double check because I've forgotten now. 27, 31. I'm going into a 55 day, which is big change. So every step of the way, we are able to monitor what's happening with our destiny by looking at our numbers, looking at what's happening, and that everything is perfectly timed. Divine timing. This is about divine timing. Everything is aligned for us perfectly. So if you're feeling any particular emotions at the moment, look at them and really feel them. If it is joy, then you're in alignment with your soul and in oneness with your higher self. If it is sadness or loss or fear or grief or whatever, then you are simply letting go of what is no longer serving you. And it's so that you can come into alignment with your higher self. I saw a post the other day from Sri Ramana, and he mentioned that the cross is the body. The cross is our body. And Jesus on the cross was the man going through the crucifixion. So we are all always on the cross going through the crucifixion. And so symbolically, Friday was the crucifixion of all of us. And as it is every year, the opportunity to move into through that phase of letting go and dying to another layer of the ego, because that's the ego that's on the cross, dying to another layer of the ego. And if you look at what part of your ego was dying or is passing through and in readiness for resurrection, what have you learned through that time? And we go through this every year. We have this opportunity to look at this every year. Well, we can look at it every day, but, you know, symbolically, once a year, we have this amazing energy to remind us to take a look at what are we letting go of? What what are we crucifying, you know, letting go of? What are we sacrificing? What have we had nailed to the cross? And allow ourselves to move through that phase and come through fully resurrected into alignment with the higher self. And when we are fully merged with the higher self, and we are able then to access our gifts and our new energies, then the journey begins back down again, down, 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 here to this earth plane, bringing that energy down here so that we can actually use it, because it's all very well to have all these amazing gifts and things. But if we are not anchoring them and using them, what is the point? We just flip around in limbo. So say yes to the gifts. Say yes, first of all, and then say, yes, I am ready to anchor and bring this through. But be prepared that when you put your hand up and say yes, because this is about ascension, and that is the other vision that I saw. Christina says, yes, I am ready. The other vision that I saw was the big A. Now, I have been seeing the big A since the year 2000, a great big A-frame A. And sometimes it just comes in a big A. You see the big A at the end of my name. But there's another reason for that. But there's the big A. Took me a long time to understand why this big A kept appearing in my meditations and why it kept appearing like it would just appear in a piece of in mandalas or something. There would be do something, directly through the subconscious, and then when you look at it after, there'd be the big A, and it kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and it still keeps coming. And first I thought it was it's big A for I'm going to America, and then I thought it was the big A because I had met someone whose name started with A, and then he faded out, and I met somebody else with the name that started with A, and I thought, oh, it's him, and it's him, and then one of the big A dudes broke my heart with a big B, and when that heart broke, cracked it right open, I was given some new massive, massive energies, which then I was given the name for it, was the name of my higher self, which is Ametron. And I was bringing through Ametron. Ametron's Truth, Ametron Truth, that's where the name Ametron Truth came from. Ametron is the name of my higher self. So I now understand that when I see the big A, it is in connection with my higher self, but it is on a grander level because I see it often with my clients. So the big A is ascension. The big A is ascension. You go up, you're climbing up. And when you ascend, and we're doing it over and over and over, because those of you that follow the path with a great discipline understand that you're up and you're down and you're up and you're down and you're up and you're down. But the biggest times when you're really, really up there, when you're really, a lot of those ups and then coming down, that's strengthening you. Every time you go there, you receive a little bit more wisdom. You receive a little bit more, and you come back down with it. And sometimes you're not able to maintain holding the higher self while you're down here and you slip back into the ego. It's normal. That's normal. But then you hit a point which usually happens under specific star alignments when you are at the pinnacle time for an initiation or to receive those gifts. And at those phases, often it can happen like a collective thing, or it can be a individual thing. Not everybody is traveling at the same time, but there are certain things that we receive around the same time, and then there are our own individual things. So we go up and we ascend, and when you have done it enough and you have gained enough strength to hold that light and that energy, just like the Vulture showed us, and you're ready to bring it back down, things happen. So somebody reported to me earlier this week that they had visited the halls of Amenti in their dreams, and when they came out, they didn't even know what was the halls of Amenti. They got the word Amenti. They didn't know what it was, and they reached out to me, and I was able to help them to understand what it meant. But the energy was really intense for that person, and she wasn't able to even stand up because she was being pushed around by the power of the energies, and just wanted to sleep. And I know this experience because I've had this experience myself many times when new frequencies are coming through, and when I've been going through a death rebirth, because we go into that death phase and we have to face all of our fears. We have to face them, and that's basically where we are at now. Face the fears. Feel the fear and do it anyway. So it's stay in alignment and allow this new great energy that is wanting to come through for us to come through. It is ascension. It is all to do with ascension, and each and every one of us has our own unique place in the mission of humanity that is about ascension. So on that note, if you would like to receive the codes, if you are not staying into the class right here now, or if you're not in the class right here right now, you can purchase them for 15 Australian dollars by connecting with me at luxorlight@yahoo.com.au. And so now it's goodbye until next week. Next week, the codes will be in Australia. Well, they're all over the world, but I will be in Australia, bringing through the codes from Perth in Western Australia. So until then, toodle pips and love you lots. Thanks for popping by.